Hello, everyone, and welcome to our new little show slash podcast slash time where we babble on. So, what we want to do is, I got thinking the other day, and I want to start like a little relationship coaching series thing, whatever. And I have to be careful and call it coaching because I can't call it counselor because I'm not a certified counselor. Although I am a certified hypnotherapist, a bunch of you probably don't know that. So I can hypnotize you, and I try. It doesn't work though, folks. I'm not real good at it. I tried hypnotizing shit for brains here to be cool.
Nice.
It didn't work.
Nice.
She's still not cool at all. So yeah, I need to hone my skill. I need to hone my skills. No, just joking, of course. Um, so, anyways, what we want to call it is Perk Up, and it's Pam and Eric, PER, relationship coaching with a K, because my name is spelled with a KERIK, so it's kind of like personalized. Pam and Eric, relationship coaching, unlimited. What do you say? Potential. What do you say?
I think so. I don't remember.
Unlimited potential. I think we came up with.
Possibilities.
Unlimited
like
possibilities, was it?
I don't
Okay,
remember.
yeah. Anyways, it's not anything official, people. But anyways, your relationships, whether they be romantic, whether they be platonic, whether they be anything in between, are perhaps the most one thing, the biggest factor in your happiness. And I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. It's not like I'm, sitting here and you're like, oh my God, how did I not know this? Of course you already know this. Um, but make no mistake about it, your relationships, particularly your romantic relationships, are probably the biggest single factor in your life that you're going to have that is going to influence your health, your happiness, let's be honest, your finances. Okay. A whole bunch of us have gone through real shitty divorces, cost you a fortune, cost you years off your life and worry and stress, cost you, your kids and your home and your what God knows what else. Okay, it gets real ugly real quick. Um, Fortunately, Pam and I have been together 26 years, married 24. Okay, and sometimes we're asked, what the secret is, or how do you do it. It hasn't always been sunshine and rainbows, guys. It hasn't. I'm not going to lie, there's been some dark, shitty times. I've done dark, shitty things. Pam's no angel herself. But through it all, the main thing that you have to do is communicate. That is absolutely paramount. More than anything is communication. And I just made a post. It's by Frederick Niesek here. You got to undo your phone. I want to make sure I get this right. All right, the post I just made, it says, all truths that are kept silent become poisonous. And this was by Friedrich Nietzsche. Okay, if you can see that there. Yeah, he was he was a glare. There's glare on it, but he was a psychologist, had all sorts of great ideas, and it's absolutely true. Truths that you don't want to acknowledge, truths that you are afraid to acknowledge, truths that aren't pretty, truths that are going to hurt your partner's feelings. These are the types of truths that you have to get out there, okay? Don't ever forget, light is the best sanitizer. Bring this stuff to the light, all right? Because if you don't, these truths, if they're not brought to the light, if they're not discussed, will become poisonous. They'll lead to all sorts of bad things, resentments and jealousies and all sorts of bad stuff. They'll lead you down roads you don't want to go down, shouldn't be going down, and they will absolutely nuke your relationships. They'll destroy your relationships, and it's bad stuff when it happens. A whole bunch of you already know exactly what I'm talking about. So communicate. What, and we're not talking about, oh, geez, hon, my favorite color is such and such. I think, let's communicate on where we want to go for a trip this year. Let's communicate on what, we're going to have for dinner. No, that's the easy stuff. The stuff you need to be communicating is the stuff that you don't want to acknowledge. That it's there, you're feeling it, and you don't want to acknowledge it. You don't want to admit it because it might hurt somebody's feelings, or it might get sticky, or it might cause an argument, or it's going to create all sorts of bigger problems down the road if you don't acknowledge this stuff and communicate. What kind of stuff are we talking about? We're talking about mismatched libidos. Okay, we're talking about sexual dissatisfaction. We're talking about a partner that you're no longer attracted to physically, intimately. We're talking about these kind of things. Okay, we're talking about truths that you want to go. You want to take the relationship one direction, and you're bored to tears with where it's at. All right. Throughout these videos, guys, we're going to be talking a lot about relationships, how to make them work, why you're in them in the first place, what the draw is to be in a relationship. So these are the types of things that you have to talk about. One of the big things is mismatched libidos, sexual libidos. Okay, one partner is good, once a week, twice a month. One partner could have it 3 times a day. All right, this kind of stuff. You're no longer physically attracted to your partner. It's very normal. You're no longer intimately attracted to your partner. Again, very normal. Folks, I want to keep I could talk, for the next 10 hours about this subject. Human relationships, human sexuality fascinates me. It is one of the 3 biggest drivers of all human behavior. We're going to talk a lot about this in these episodes. And, and let's start with, why do we want to do this? We want to do this because I want to see you happy. I love and care about each and every one of you, and I want to see you happy. Life is too goddamn short. I'm 48 years old, and more and more people are dying around me. Peers, natural causes, not drugs, not suicide. We're talking natural causes at 48 years old. It's scary stuff, guys. Life's too short to be unhappy, and I know a bunch of us are unhappy. You're unhappy in your current situation. You're unhappy in your current relationship. Life's too short for that shit. I want to see you happy. That's why we're doing these things. These are absolutely free. We hope that you enjoy them. We hope that you take something away from them. That's why we're doing these. Now, you have to have the hard conversations. You have to have the hard, difficult communication. Because if you don't, it will come up, it will come out, it will come out in ways that it's not going to behoove you, it's not going to benefit you, it's not going to benefit the relationship. It'll come out in all sorts of bad, negative ways. We're talking cheating, we're talking fights, we're talking, all sorts of secrets and resentments and jealousy. And then, so be willing to have the difficult discussion. Be willing to communicate the difficult things. As bad as it is, okay, it's the less of 2 evils. That's the type of communication that you have to be willing to have. That's the type of communication that Pam and I had, many years ago. We loved each other incredibly, but we were bored sexually. Well, what's the solution to this? Well, there are solutions. Our solutions certainly might not be your solutions, and that's fine. In no way, shape, or form would I ever tell you that a monogamous relationship is somehow inferior to a open relationship. That'd be ridiculous. I would never say, oh, we got a better idea. No, I don't have a better idea. I can tell you about what we have. I can tell you how it works. You decide if it works for you or not. There's absolutely nothing wrong with monogamy, nothing at all. There's absolutely nothing wrong with an open relationship. There's nothing at all wrong with some hybrid of the two. It's whatever works for you two. And that's the key. So many people don't sit down and have the difficult discussions to come up with what it is that's going to work for you two. Because guess what? Your partner might not be on the same sheet of music as you are. You might think they are, they're not. And vice versa. You know. So Pam and I sat down years and years ago and said, okay, you know, we have kids, we love each other incredibly, we have a house, we have, you know, everything, shared finances, but, you know, we're bored to tears intimately, sexually. What can we do about it? We came up with a solution. Our solution, again, might not be what works for you, but nonetheless, sit down and have the difficult discussion. Hon, we got to talk about something. All right, what's going on? I'm bored to tears. Okay, I love you incredibly, but I'm bored to tears. I need it 3 days a week, and you're happy with, you know, once a month. This ain't working. You know, I'm no longer physically attracted to you. I'm no longer intimately attracted to you. Folks, it doesn't mean you don't love your partner. Quite the opposite. If you're willing to sit down and discuss these issues before they explode and sink your relationship, that means you do love them. That means you do care about them. It's not going to be an easy discussion. It's not. There's going to be tears. There's going to be yelling. There's going to be screaming. Let's be honest, guys. It's probably going to get real shitty. But if you don't have it, just like Nietzsche said, okay, it's going to turn poisonous. All right. Truths that aren't discussed, truths that aren't communicated become poisonous. They absolutely do. You know, Pam and I joke around a lot. Pam's my absolute best friend. I absolutely can't imagine a day without her. We had to sit down. We had to have some very difficult conversations years ago. Now we're stronger than ever. You know, like I just said, I can't imagine a day without her. You know, she's my best friend, and that's something else that we'll go into in a future episode. But so today's episode, and I want to try. What are we at here? 12 minutes. Pam hasn't gotten a word in edgewise. We'll give her a chance to talk. And you know, a lot of times we clown around and we talk and everything, and that's fine. But you got to get serious sometimes too, guys. You got to be able to have that balance between joke and, you know, serious. And some of these are going to be on a more serious note because they deal with serious subjects. You know, relationships and communication therein, it's kind of serious. You got to be able to do it. But what do you got to say, babe? Here.
No, that's fine.
What do you got to say?
I really don't know. I mean, everybody's different, and but it also goes into finances too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and that's for a future episode, and that's you know, that's a discussion too that you got to have. You know, maybe one of you is you know, spending too much money on something, a hobby, you know, gambling, alcohol, you know, something. You got to be able to sit down and say, hey, we got to pump the brakes on this. You know, the difficult truths. Hey, your drinking's gotten out of control. We need to talk about this. The difficult communication you got to have isn't all going to be of a sexual nature. Certainly not. Not far from it. It's going to be about money. It's going to be about, you know, hobbies and geez, you know, you're always going off doing stuff, and I feel like I'm being left out, or you know, there's going to be a lot of different discussions, a lot of different truths that you're going to have to you know, bring to the light and sit down and discuss. And it's not always going to be of a sexual nature. That's a huge one, though. That is a huge one. Money is another huge one. Okay, alcohol. We're going to be talking a lot about alcohol in future episodes. A whole bunch of you misuse alcohol. Alcohol is responsible for unfathomable pain and suffering and heartache, and that's another big one. You know, parenting styles, another big one. So there's a lot, you know, communication is key. You have to be willing to have the difficult discussions, the discussions that are uncomfortable. Those are the ones that are going to sink you. Those are the ones that are going to turn poisonous and toxic if you don't talk about them. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, fortunately, Pam and I, you know, we have similar parenting styles. We have similar financial things. She thinks I'm an idiot for spending so much on the lottery, and I probably am. But I will say this:
one of those days it's gonna pay off.
that's right. One of these days, I'm going to be a.
How many years have you been playing?
30.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much have you won?
How much have I won?
Right, in comparative how much you spent.
Well, in 30 years, I've probably, I don't know, 50 grand in out of the question. $50,000 in 30 years. Yeah. You know, $1,000. Yeah. What? $1,500 a year. $1,800 a year. That ain't much. You know.
That ain't much.
No. You know. And I've won. I think my claim to fame. I won $2,000 in a scratch off once. I've won $500 a couple times. $900 a couple of times. I ain't won.
Let's just say the house has been winning, right?
Oh, absolutely. The house has won so far. Now, when I do win, and I am going to win, this is going to happen, okay? Somebody is going to get about this much of it, and somebody's going to be absolutely filthy rich.
You know what? This face really isn't concerned about
you
that.
You heard it here, folks. She's not concerned about that, she says, okay? She's not concerned about it.
Pretty sure if you had meant to win, you would have already have won by now.
Meant to, can you believe this? She is tempting the lotto gods.
You've been playing how many years, and you haven't
I just said
won.
30.
Exactly.
Keep yapping, keep yucking it up. And I'm telling you, when I win, and I am going to win, and I'm going to win big, millions, tens, hundreds of millions, okay? One of us here, not so much, and I'll be filthy rich. So.
Maybe or maybe not. There's an accident. I don't know.
No, guys. But yeah. So hope you enjoyed this. We're at about 18 minutes now. You know, and we'll be doing a bunch of these, but be willing to have, again, and I know I sound like a broken record, and there's a reason for that, because you have to listen to what I'm telling you. Be willing to have the difficult discussions, the difficult communication. Okay, anybody can communicate about those small, easy peasy stuff. That ain't the stuff that we're talking about. That ain't the poisonous stuff. The poisonous stuff is the big stuff. That's what's going to bring you down. You got to be willing to communicate it. And look at it like this. Don't be like, oh, well, geez, if I discuss this stuff, maybe the relationship will implode. If you don't discuss it, it's going to implode. Your only chance at survival is to bring this stuff to the forefront. Okay? Either way, if the relationship is going to implode, it's going to implode either way. Okay? If you don't communicate this stuff, it is absolutely 100% guaranteed to implode. If you do discuss this stuff, that's your only chance at making it work. That's what made ours work. That's what can make yours work. It ain't going to be easy. I'll tell you that. But you know what? Neither have a relationship go absolutely to shit. That ain't easy either. I know every single one of you watching this has had that happen to them, unfortunately. So, all right, guys. Hey, we'll talk to you soon. Enjoy.